Hi, good morning. I'm still working on my blessings wrap. I'm excited to get it finished, so I'm working and put a little bit extra effort into it. This was my work project for a while, and it just sat at work. But I really want to finish it. I'm getting kind of excited about it, and I want to see how it turns out. So, still working on this. And so, speaking of projects, something that I was thinking about is some of these extra things that the pattern calls for, and sometimes we skip. And one of them is at the very beginning of the pattern, and that is swatching. So I used to be a um, complete believer that swatching was a waste of time. Um, I think that's a younger self that didn't have a full investment. You know how that is. You spend $5 at Walmart on some yarn, another $5 on a needle. You've really only got $10 invested, and you kind of feel like, I really don't think I'm going to finish this project. So, yeah, why would I put in extra effort to make a small little square? I think that was a lot of it, but also I don't know that I was ever taught the actual benefits of swatching. And I think there's some good articles out there, but if you don't experience the benefit of swatching yourself, then I don't know that you actually can put it into practice. And so recently, I've changed my mind on swatching, and I am a firm believer that at least a small 2 by 2 square is probably sufficient time that you want to spend on that to get something right. And there's a couple reasons for it actually. The first is, and what really changed my mind was I wanted to write a simple pattern using hand spun yarn. And I really couldn't find a pattern. I wanted to just make a hat. And I couldn't find a pattern that was made for hand spun yarn. And then I read, well, you could start a hat from the top down. And I was like, But I still couldn't find a, a pattern that really spoke to my style of hand spun yarn. And so um, I worked through it and I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to write my own pattern. But I need to do the math beforehand. I need to know, what is my going to be my end stitch count because I want it to fit on my head and all that kind of stuff. And so I started a swatch. I was like, okay, I'm just going to make a small swatch, at least an inch, so I can get okay, what is my stitches per inch? It turns out that I did cast on a few more than that inch because I want my swatch to lay flat without blocking because I'm not a fan of blocking either. And so I'd had like three stitches on each side. And so I made my swatch. I did the math and was able to create a really nice pattern. It's available for free on my website. The link will be in the comments below. And I really liked how it turned out. And I was like, okay, so wanting to use more hand spun yarn. And I decided to write another pattern and realized I needed another swatch. And so by this time, I'm thinking, okay, this next pattern, actually, this is not hand spun yarn, but I needed to figure out something to do with this. I made a swatch for this as well. I wanted to understand how the pattern worked, how to get the keyhole designs just the way I wanted them. And so I made a swatch. And so at this point, I realized that I really wanted to understand what a stitch pattern might look like, or how the yarn itself will behave in that stitch pattern before I actually invested all my time and energy into making something that I might hate at the end. And so this is where swatching came home to me, and I was like, my aha moment of, okay, I gotcha. I need to swatch for a few reasons. One is anytime I'm using hand spun yarn, I've got to know how it's going to go in the pattern. Secondly, I need to know before I invest my time and money into a pattern that I need to know what it's going to look like in the end. Fair enough. So those are my main two reasons that I swatch now, and those are, I feel, pretty compelling reasons. So comment down below if you swatch before you start a pattern, and how you feel about that. I'd love to have a conversation with you. That's it for now. Thanks for joining me. Bye.